Taped from New Jersey, it's the SNL Nerds, the show where two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. I'm your co-host, Darren Patterson.
And I'm your co-host, John Trumbull.
John Trumbull, happy holidays to you and yours.
Happy holidays to you, sir. We're recording this the day after Christmas, and it's going to go up on December 27th, if I've done the math right.
Right.
So.
Crunched the numbers, figured, did the long division on that one, and you're like, oh, This will be out on the 27th.
On the 27th, if all goes as planned. If we don't have some huge technical mishap recording this episode, as we have been wont to do on occasion. If you're listening to this on Monday the 27th, go us!
Yeah, we did it!
We pulled it off! Yay!
Hooray!
So.
Oh man, how was your holidays, my friend? Not too shabby?
Well, it was okay. It was a low key holiday for me. I wasn't able to fly down to see the family this year, so I just I spent the Christmas by myself. But I got to talk to my mom on the phone for about an hour, and that was good. So.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, as long as you talk to people and connect with the loved ones and people in your life, you'll always have a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and I watched It's a Wonderful Life and How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the animated version, not the Jim Carrey version.
Yeah, that one was an odd one. Like I mean, they had I didn't dream it, but they had a key party in there, right?
I don't know. I've never seen the entire thing. I did. I remember very distinctly one year I was flipping around channels one December, and I saw How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version, and it was Jim Carrey dressed as the Grinch, and he was like running away from an explosion, and I was like, okay, I don't ever need to see this.
Yeah, it's weird because like they took this, this movie that was for kids, and then they kind of put in some adult jokes there, and some of them were kind of like pretty inappropriate. Like I remember seeing that movie. I forget if it was in the theater or at home, but I remember thinking, yeah, this isn't great. And I remember there being like a Whoville holiday party at somebody's house, and I vaguely remember like people coming in through the door and putting their keys in a glass bowl. And I was like, ew, what's this doing in this movie?
They believe really strongly in designated drivers in Whoville. If anybody had too much to drink, they were going to call them a cab.
That's what I'm telling myself and any child who asks me, hey, what's that scene about? I'll tell them that.
Yeah, Whoville has a thriving Uber economy.
Oh, forget it. Like Lyft, Uber, they're probably started in Whoville before they went to Silicon Valley. If tale is to be believed.
So.
Mm-hmm. And like I remember seeing like the live action Cat in the Hat movie with Mike Myers, and that was another one where it was like, oh, it feels weird.
I've never seen that one, but I do understand that Mike Myers did some sort of risque jokes in that.
Yeah.
Is that a Christmas movie? Should we do that like when next Christmas rolls around?
It's not a Christmas movie. I don't think we should do it ever. Because I distinctly remember there was one scene where he like walks through somebody's garden and he steps on a garden hoe, and then he calls it a dirty hoe. And
okay. I remember hearing about this. Yes.
I was like, oh, come on, man, that ain't right.
That and the Love Guru. That was kind of like the 1-2 punch that sort of killed Mike Myers' movie career.
Yeah, like I still haven't seen the Love Guru. Part of me kind of wants to see it just see how not great and offensive it is, but then I'm like,
I saw a bit of it on TV. It was what I saw was not good. But I feel like at some point we probably will cover those if this podcast goes on long enough.
Do you think? All right, I'll ask you a question. What do you think we'll see first? An Adam Sandler movie or those Mike Myers movies?
Well, you already covered an Adam Sandler movie during one of the episodes I missed, right?
Right, I did. But I mean, like the both of us watching. I mean, I like some of Adam Sandler movies, but like his earlier stuff, the stuff that he's more well known for, can be a little hit and miss with me.
I mean, I'm not like clamoring to see Little Nicky or Jack and Jill anytime soon,
Boof.
or Pixels, or a lot of his movies look like crap. I'm going to be honest.
God damn. Merry Christmas.
I did watch. I did have like the Wedding Singer on not too long ago on TV,
That
and that's fine. I've got my problems with the Wedding Singer, but
it's cute enough.
it's cute enough. It's and I like him as a straight dramatic actor. I enjoyed him. I enjoyed him in Funny People. What's the movie he did? Was it a James L. Brooks movie he did?
Uh
Spanglish.
oh, Spanglish.
I remember him being good in Spanglish.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Punch Drunk Love.
I've never
Like
seen Punch Drunk Love.
that's the one where everybody kind of gave him accolades for like. That's the one where everybody was like, "Oh, he's an actor. He can act." It's, the same
Yeah,
way,
that was Paul Thomas Anderson, I think, right?
right? Like the same way people saw Marky Mark in Boogie Nights, and everybody was like, "Oh, Marky Mark can act. He's good." And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
mm.
I
yeah,
never saw that one because I mean I usually just don't run out to see the Adam Sandler movies. I did see Anger Management with Jack Nicholson when that was in theaters. I haven't seen it
I remember that
since.
being okay. Yeah, I remember that being okay. And I haven't seen his last one on Uncut Gems, but I hear good things about that one too. People really
That
said
got good
he
reviews. Yeah, yeah.
so. Wow, maybe we will do an Adam Sandler movie. Maybe I just talked us into doing Adam Sandler movies in the
Well, I
future.
mean, there are ones that, yeah, I'm at least willing to watch, and I do
Okay,
feel like he is a significant guy that we haven't really given his due yet. So, yeah,
that
we
is
should
true.
we should try and watch some Adam Sandler stuff soon. I mean, SNL is going to be off for the Olympics, so
Ooh,
yeah, maybe we can squeeze in an Adam Sandler thing then. I don't think they've announced when or if they're coming back in January yet, so that still seems like a little up in the air, right?
it does, and I guess you're gonna take a while to sort of maybe regroup and reassess um, their their staff because as we learned from our last episode, in between that episode, we talked about the Paul Rudd episode, and now
Mhm.
a few crew members have left the show.
Yeah, yeah. Surprisingly, one of them a head writer.
Yeah, yeah. So as far as the writers go, um, Jasmine Pierce has left the show. She
Hmm.
posted on Instagram saying that she was going to LA and she was going to write out there. And one of the head writers, Anna Drezen or Dreesen,
Hmm.
I don't know how to pronounce her
I think
name,
it's
but
treason, but
Dreesen. But yeah, she has also announced on Instagram that she was leaving SNL to write on her very own animated show, Praise Petey, which will air on Freeform.
hmm,
So and yeah, that's I don't think anybody saw that coming because like she's been on the show for quite a bit. She's one of the head writers.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, now she's kind of gone off to do her own show. Yeah, very exciting. For those
And
that know,
Anna Dreesen, she's one of the people. She wrote for Kate and 80 a lot. Like
uh,
what else has she done? Do you know some of her notable sketches offhand?
well, her one of her most notable sketches is the one she wrote for Bowen Yang, where she wrote the weekend update segment of Bowen being the iceberg that sank the
Yeah,
Titanic. That's kind of the one that put Bowen on the map. If you ask me, that really broke him.
yeah. I mean, that's one of his breakout bits, definitely.
Yeah, she also wrote on Girls Five Eva. She's done a number of things, but actually, this is another thing that kind of popped up that had me thinking. I saw one of our listeners, Manette Marati, saying that, well, now that Jasmine and Anna are leaving, do you think this will be a good sign that this also might be Kate and 80's last season? Because as we've said before, like if you're a cast member on SNL, it's pretty important that you partner up with a writer so the two of you can get a lot of sketches on and just you get more and more screen time. So if you don't have a writer by your side or you know how to write yourself, like odds are a lot of your stuff doesn't get on. So like now that Kate Nady's kind of primo writer is leaving, do you think they might be like, man, maybe we should go too? And I don't know. I'm leaning towards yes, but I don't want to. say yes because I don't know, with everything going on with COVID and everything, who knows who's leaving and who's staying? It's all up in the air. But I think this might be their last roundup.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me, but it also wouldn't greatly surprise me if they stayed. I don't know.
Okay, absolutely. So also last show, this was also the last show for Paul Briganti, director of SNL. He directed the black and white An Evening with Pete Davidson pre-tape that was on the Paul Rudd episode,
Hmm.
and he's been there for a
Okay.
while, and he's taking off as well.
Would he mainly do the pre-tape stuff?
I believe so. Yeah, I think mostly his stuff was like pre-tape stuff. I'm sure he worked with like the Please Don't Destroy guys, or maybe just Pete Davidson a bit. But yeah, he's taking off for greener pastures, as they say.
Okay. Well,
And
we wish them the best.
yeah, and also something else we forgot to mention that the um, the Paul Rudd episode, that was the final episode for Don Roy King, longtime director of SNL.
Yeah, that's. Have they announced who's taken over from him?
Yeah, I believe it's like Liz Patrick.
Okay.
She's like a director for the Ellen DeGeneres show. I think they mentioned her a while ago that she was taking over. So when the show comes back, it will be under Liz Patrick's regime.
I mean, that's interesting because like SNL has had like a long continuity with the directors. It's like they get a director and that person stays with the show for like a decade or more, it
Yeah,
seems.
it's like Supreme Court. It's like your job for life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because it just seems like it's a very specialized skill set, you know?
It does. But I think Liz Patrick. I mean, she's worked with Ellen on the Ellen DeGeneres show, so I think she has a good eye for sort of this type of show format. So
Hmm.
and I think she's also worked on a number of MTV shows, if I'm not mistaken, like TRL. She's worked on Total Request Live, Guy Court, so she kind of has a good sense of you know working with this type of live TV format. So I think she's a good fit. I think she'll be
Hmm.
okay. She directed a While and Out, a lot of the MTV Movie Awards, a lot of the MTV award shows. It turns out Spring Break 2008. She has that under her belt. The Real World, just pretty much anything at MTV done. Wow, I'm looking at it now. She's
Okay, okay.
a lot
And
of MTV
I
stuff.
just looked up Don Roy King. Don Roy King's been the director of SNL since 2006. So he's only the third person to serve as the show's director, which I mean that really tells you how long
Wow.
SNL directors stick with the show. He's also earned 9 Primetime Emmys and gotten 13 nominations. So for SNL, he's got 10 Emmy awards overall.
Oof.
So wow,
That's
that's
Chihuahua.
yeah, that's something else. And yeah, he's in his he's 74 now, so he's finally retiring. So yeah, we wish him the best.
Yeah. Well, speaking of retiring, segue. You watch the Kennedy Honors Awards with Mr. Lauren Michaels, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
The Kennedy Center Honors aired this Wednesday, and that of course was the ceremony with that they do every year in December, and the president's going to it again, which that's nice.
Yeah.
Um,
Not too.
that the president is like, hey, I'm gonna go and to a thing where they're honoring other people and they're not talking about me because I recognize that even though I'm the president, not everything is about me.
Yeah, it's nice to have a president that realizes that, isn't it?
Exactly, exactly. And Lorne Michaels was one of the 5 honorees, along with, let's see if I can remember who else it was. It was Jody Mitchell. Um, we had, oh geez, I didn't bring the list up.
I got it. I'm looking it up.
Joni Mitchell, and who they had a nice joke about Joni Mitchell where they said that she was the number one Canadian, the best Canadian immigrant ever, including Lauren Michaels.
Okay,
Yeah,
I got
but
it.
yeah, thank you.
So they honored Lauren Michaels, Joni Mitchell, Bette Midler,
Hmm.
Barry Gordy, and
Yes.
operatic bass baritone Justino Diaz.
Yes, and I kept the whole show on. Of course, I was mainly watching it for Lauren. I do try to watch it most every year, though. That's become a thing that I would like watch with my mom when I was home for Christmas because they usually air it close to Christmas.
Oh, nice.
Um, but for Lauren, a lot of SNL people showed up. Amy Poehler and Seth Meyers, they did a weekend update segment. Colin Jost and Michael Che did a weekend update segment. Who else spoke?
Wasn't Fallon there too?
Fallon was there. Tina Fey was there.
I think I saw also Kristen Wiig and Kate McKinnon did a thing.
Yes, they did a thing. They dressed up as the Blues Brothers and they did like the Blues Brothers dance, which that unfortunately was not very good because it's just like, well, who can match what Aykroyd and Belushi did? And it's just foolish to even invite the comparison. But it was really fun to see Amy Poehler and Seth Meyers do a weekend update thing again, and Michael Che had a great joke because they do the Kennedy Center Honors in Washington D.C. Of course, Michael Che was like, "Hey, it's great to be back in Washington D.C. I haven't been here since January 6th."
Heyo.
So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, so it was well done. It was entertaining. What I was really impressed by was they showed some clips of Lorne's early career, and he did like a sketch comedy show in Canada called The Hart and Lorne Terrific Hour, and we got to see young mustachioed Lorne Michaels.
Yeah, like when you posted those up on Twitter and social media, I was like, "Whoa, he looks like a member of the Allman Brothers or some shit." Yeah,
he looked like Sonny Bono. I mean, he's got like the long hair over his ears. He's got like that early 70s stash thing.
It was very Ron Burgundy.
It's very Anchorman. And yes, I became momentarily obsessed with young Lorne Michaels' mustache from 1970.
Yeah, it's just like I've never seen that, like his brown hair. Like the youngest I've ever seen him in footage is he still had like kind of salt and pepper type of hair to him, like back in the Aykroyd, Belushi early days of SNL. That's like the youngest I've ever seen him. So even to see him in footage younger than that, it just like it was like jarring for me. I was like, whoa, who's this? Who's this hippie beatnik?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just how people looked circa 1970.
I know. Just like it plays.
They also had Paul Simon on the show. Paul Simon came out, and he started playing his song "America," which I thought was kind of funny because the first lyric of "America" was "Let us be lovers, we'll marry our fortunes together," and I was just like, wait, is Paul Simon like declaring his love for Lorne Michaels?
Finally, he's doing it.
That would be a hell of a closer.
I've kept these feelings inside for too long, Lorne.
I've loved you for 50 years, Lorne. Be mine.
Let us be lovers together. Counting the headlights on the New Jersey Turnpike.
I mean, but it was nice to see. It was really cool to see, and it's one of those things that really makes you realize what an impact SNL and Lorne Michaels has had on American culture.
Yeah. I mean, once you like kind of step back and look at it all, it's pretty impressive. Like the number of people whose careers he helped launch, and it's pretty. I mean, you just can't deny the man's like is a staple in U.S. and in the United States of the United States comedy. I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah. Neither do I. I should also mention that Kevin Nealon was there as well, and he also did a brief update segment.
Kevin Nealon
came as the most popular original cast member.
Oh, nice!
So
fantastic.
So and Michael Che also had a good line where he pointed out that Lorne has been nominated for an Emmy 94 times and won 20 times. So he's lost the Emmy a humiliating 74 times, which is great. I mean, so it was like half tribute, half roast, because that's what you're going to get when you get a bunch of SNL people together.
That's how I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and also in SNL news, Mr. John Mulaney, he had his baby. He's a pop
Yeah, well,
man.
I mean, he and Olivia Munn, they had their child back in November, like I think November 24th, if I remember correctly. But they posted the first pictures of their newborn baby, and it's Malcolm Hype Mullaney. It's Hiep. I think it's a Vietnamese middle name, so I'm probably mispronouncing that. But
Right.
yeah, so congratulations to them.
Congrats to them, proud papa.
Hmm.
I look forward to all his new dad jokes when he
Hmm.
goes out on tour.
I mean, he's going to have no shortage of things to talk about when he goes on tour, and I think he's starting his new tour in February.
Yeah, like
So
if he goes out there and just talks about, iPods and and takeout food, I'll be like, dude, what are you talking about? Stop it! Like everything happened to you. Talk about that.
he had one of the more eventful years a person could have. I posted from the SNL Nerds Twitter account yesterday. I was like, right about now, John Mulaney and Olivia Munn are sitting Pete Davidson down to explain to him that just because they have a new baby now, it doesn't mean they love him any less.
Yeah,
So
I could see that now.
because Mulaney had more or less adopted Pete Davidson.
Yes, absolutely. And so, like, I imagine now Melania's like, now, Pete, you have a new baby brother. You got to look out for him.
I wonder if Pete Davidson was at John Mulaney's intervention.
Whoa, that's a good question. I mean, maybe. Like, I haven't heard anything about it, but like,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just I'm curious. I'm just like, what does it mean if you have an intervention and Pete Davidson's one of the people there who's like, drugs are affecting your life.
yeah, when Pete Davidson says that to you, that is what we call a wake up call in the biz.
Yes, yes.
That's like, I got to get it
So
all together. It's like Keith Richards saying you're doing too much drugs.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, so a fair amount of SNL news happening during the down week. Just kind of squeezing it in for before the end of the year, before 2021's all over.
That's right. This is last episode of 2021, y'all. 2022 right around the corner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we decided this week, since it's an off week for SNL, we're gonna do a Christmas special, a Christmas special that's been around for a few years, a very Murray Christmas. This is a Netflix special that debuted in 2015.
Yes, very Merry Christmas on Netflix. Directed by Sofia Coppola, who of course
Mm-hmm.
Bill Murray worked with on Lost in Translation and On the Rocks, which we've covered on the podcast. Uh, writ-
Yes,
Written by Bill Murray, Sofia Coppola, and Mitch Glazer, who has also worked with Bill Murray on the film Scrooged and Rock the Casbah.
cool, cool.
So, so it's kind of like the more I looked into all the people and writers who had to do with this special, I was like, oh, they've all worked together. This is like kind of like a almost like a family type of affair.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it's just something that Bill Murray just kind of threw together with a bunch of his friends. By the way, if you want to hear what we had to say about On the Rocks, which is another time that Sofia Coppola has directed Bill Murray, that's back on episode 127 of the SNL Nerd. So dive into the archives and check that out.
Absolutely, treat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I mean, this is a special that I think you suggested, and it's
Yes.
something where I was like, oh yeah, that might be an interesting one when I heard it, and like I'd never seen
Mm-hmm.
it before, and when I looked into it, and I saw Sofia Coppola directed it, so I was like, oh, I mean, I didn't know exactly what I was. I didn't know exactly what I would be in for. I was like, well, is this going to
Right.
be?
Did you just watch it cold? Did you read anything about it beforehand?
No, no, no. I just hopped in cold. I just saw it was an hour, so I was like, all right, let me just dive right in. So like, I didn't
Yeah,
know.
I had put it on my queue for a few years, and then I didn't watch it for a few years. And you generally only want to watch a Christmas special during the Christmas season. So it's like I'm not going to watch this in June.
Right, that would be
But
weird.
I finally watched it maybe 1 or 2 years ago, and I really liked it. I remembered enjoying it. So I thought, yeah, well, why don't we do this? This would be fun. It's got Bill Murray. It's got several other SNL people who appear in it, like Amy Poehler and Maya Rudolph and Chris Rock and
Uh,
Paul Schaefer, of course, who is in the original band at SNL. So he and Bill Murray go way back.
Yeah, Paulie Chafes.
Mm-hmm. So, and there are a lot of other cool celebrity cameos as well. So I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it too. Like, I mean, when I first was watching, I was like, I didn't know what I was expecting, what I was getting into. Like,
Mhm.
I was like, well, is this going to be like a variety Christmas show type of vibe, or is this going to be like a straight up like a sort of storytelling show with like a through line and everything,
Mhm.
or would this be because Coppola is directing? Is this going to be like more of a artsy fartsy kind of indie movie type of thing? And I don't know. I feel like it was kind of all three of those things. Of
Yeah.
but I did end up enjoying it. Like I like how it kind of started off. I mean, so basically the premise is Bill Murray is and he's at the Hotel Carlisle in New York City, and he's about to do a
Mhm.
Christmas special, but of course a big blizzard hits the city. No one showed up. None of the guests can make it. None of the
Mhm.
audience members can make it. So he has to do a show for an audience of no one, which
Mhm.
that sounds a little familiar.
It's a live TV special within the world of this show, so they're going to be, and yeah, he's contractually obligated to do it. He's got his two producers played by Amy Poehler and Julie White, who are just like, oh no, you have to do the show, even though there's no one here. Oh look, we're just going to cut in this footage of celebrities from the Golden Globes, and it'll look like everybody's here. You just have to perform.
Right, exactly. And so basically, he's bummed out that he still has to do the show, even though there's nobody there. Part of me kind of was hoping them saying, "Oh, why can't we just do like a clip show?" Because
Uh
then
huh.
that would be like, "Oh, this is a lot." Then there would be a lot like the Paul Rudd episode from last week.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh, it's all connected."
Yeah, it does kind of parallel the last episode of SNL. That wasn't intentional on my part, but yeah, it is a funny coincidence there. Yeah.
Right, and they also had this one thing that I don't know. I thought kind of didn't fit the whole thing, where Michael Cera is in this, and he plays like a talent agent that's trying to sign Bill Murray,
Yeah. Huh?
and of course Bill Murray tells him to scram and beat it. And a part of me thought that would be like a thing that would they would come back to that later on in the special, but they really didn't. They didn't do that at all. It was just like a one off type of thing.
Yeah, they don't come back to that at all. Yeah, people do kind of come in and out of the special, and I wonder if that was part of. I feel like that had to be determined by people's availability. Like either they only had Michael Cera for the day, or they only had Chris Rock, who's another SNL alum who pops up. I don't think I mentioned him before. Um, I think they only had him for a day, and so they did what they could with them, and then they just kind of disappear from the special. Or yeah, I don't know. It has a real sort of loose improv kind of quality to it. So
Yeah,
I
like the
wonder if they just did it like Curb Your Enthusiasm style, where they had a rough plot line and then they just kind of improv their dialogue.
I think so. I think you're right. It did have like a very loosey goosey feel to it. Like one point, Bill Murray had this funny line that I got a kick out of, where he's looking around at the set, but he's still bummed out that he has to do this contractually, and he just sees
Hmm.
the cameras, and he's like, "Oh, 5 cameras. I like our chances of one of them getting this right."
Yeah, yeah. Um, there's a thing where like Bill Murray at one point he's like trying to escape from the hotel to run from the special, and he runs into Chris Rock who's like coming in through the revolving door at the front. um, and Chris Rock pops up and he's like, "Oh, Chris Rock, you're here. Great. Well, we can have a celebrity appear on this special. You can come on. You can rap." And Chris Rock just goes, "I don't rap. Do you even know me?" And Bill Murray just goes, "Some." That was a lot of fun. But he cajoles Chris Rock into singing "Do You Hear What I Hear" with him. They do a duet,
Right, and
which
I think even at one, like you said, even at one point, Chris Rock said he does not sing.
yeah.
And look, Chris Rock is an amazing comedian. Singer,
Mhm.
singer, he is not.
No, no, but he is giving it a try. I do, however, I like Bill Murray's singing a lot. And it's Bill Murray in this special. He is singing sincerely. He's not just doing like Nick the Lounge Singer that from like SNL. I mean, that was great. That was hilarious. But I kind of like Bill Murray singing for real.
No, he has. I mean, he's not. I don't know. I guess it's not like a technically good song, but there's a lot of kind of heart and warmth and a little bit of melancholy to it that I
Yeah,
really kind of dig. Like, especially like
I
now he's an older man, so his voice is a
yeah
little bit more raspier and gruffer. But
he
there's something to it. There's like a
he
life lived
and
in there.
he and Sofia Coppola, they're both good at that, hitting that melancholy kind of quality. And I mean, like, we haven't done Lost in Translation on this podcast yet. I want to do that someday. But I mean, that movie has that in spades. But I find like the older I get, the more I respond to Christmas movies and specials that have a lot of that melancholy quality to it, because that's definitely in the mix for the holidays, you know?
No, yeah,
It's
absolutely.
it's not all sweetness and light, and yeah, a lot of times it's like you feel vaguely depressed because it's like, oh, I'm supposed to be feeling really good, but this isn't going how I planned it or how I want it to go. And that's this special. And like while he's Bill Murray's singing his duet with Chris Rock, the hotel has a blackout and they find out the entire Eastern Seaboard is out. And then once that happens, his producers Amy Poehler and Julie White, they're both like, "Hey, great, act of God, you're released from your contract.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, this was a
We're
nightmare.
out of here. Bye, Bill Murray."
Yeah, and I also like as soon as the lights went out, you hear like footsteps of somebody running towards the door
Uh huh.
opening and slamming and closing, and then
Yeah,
once the lights come on, everybody's asked, "Hey, where's Chris Rock? Where'd he go?"
yeah.
So,
And that is the last you hear or see of Chris Rock throughout the movie. Chris Rock just makes a run for it in the darkness.
I think that's hilarious. I think that was hilarious.
That was very funny. So for the rest of the special, they're just kind of trying to make the best of a bad situation. So Murray goes to the hotel bar. He sings with a waitress played by Jenny Lewis, who is a singer songwriter. She was in the band Rilo Kiley.
Yes, and
Uh,
yeah, then they sing "Baby It's Cold Outside," which
mhm.
I guess a lot of people feel is a very problematic song. But like I think they do it in a way where it's kind of nice and sweet.
You know, honestly, I've always liked that song. I can see why people object to it, but I honestly think a lot of people are either misreading it or willfully misreading it.
Yeah, I think it's the line where it said what was in that drink, where people are like, "Oh, he roofied her,
Yeah,
disgusting."
that's reading so much into it.
Yeah, I guess
Like,
so.
you know, what's in this drink that's just a thing that people say when a drink is stronger than they expect. And honestly, if you listen to the entire song, or if you watch it in the original movie that it's in, it's a movie with I think Esther Williams and Ricardo Montalban. I can't remember the name of the movie, and I don't have it up right now. But
Ricardo Montalban. Whoa,
Ricardo Montalban, yeah,
I
it's
I haven't heard that name in a while.
yeah. Well, I mean, check it out. It's a very cute number, and it's like the way they play it there. It's like this fun, flirty number where it's like both the man and the woman want to spend the night, but and she wants to spend the night, but because it's like the 1940s or 1950s, she's concerned about what people will say, and so
Oh,
she's like, you know,
they're doing the
so
dance.
that's what it's about in my mind.
Yeah. All right. So
Um,
that film is called Neptune's Daughter.
oh yeah, there you go. Okay, so yeah,
19.
check out Baby It's Cold Outside, Neptune's Daughter, and they also do like a reverse version of it where it's the woman trying to convince the man to stay,
Yeah.
and that's very funny. And so yeah, I mean, I think there are all sorts of ways you can treat that song where it's not problematic.
I hear you. Yeah. So the
Um,
film has, like you said, Esther Williams, Red Skelton, and Ricardo
yeah.
Montalban. Wow.
Hmm. There's a
Okay.
cast for you, right?
That is a cast, my friend.
I just recently heard there was another version, a cover version of "Baby It's Cold Outside" that John Legend did with somebody. No,
Oh.
John Legend did it with Kelly Clarkson, and
Okay.
it is awful. They tried to PC it up, and they go way too far with it. And you know, and he was I think at one point they literally sing "My Body, My Choice."
My body, my choice.
And it's so horrible. It goes way too far the other way.
I mean, do you think they did that like as a joke or was like sincere about it?
It seemed sincere. It didn't seem over the top enough to be a joke, but maybe I'm misreading that
Oh
version.
boy.
But I find that version more offensive personally.
Okay. All right. All right. And actually, also, so while they're all hanging out in the bar, it's Bill and Paul hanging out, and I think there's this one line that I got a kick out of where they figure out what they're gonna do now that the power's out all over the East Coast, and then Bill asks Paul, "Hey, you haven't quit drinking, have you?" And
Hmm.
Paul says, "Should I?" Bill says,
Yeah.
"Good man."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know why I got a kick out of that. But I was like, that's a very Bill Murray thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Murray, he's just sort of effortlessly charming. Like even when he's doing "Baby It's Cold Outside" with Jenny Lewis, he's like sort of slightly riffing on the lyrics, which that also makes it fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, they also discover that because of the power's out, all the food is melting because the refrigerator is broken. So they decide to eat it all. They decide to have a big feast in the bar,
Right, and
and
yeah, and then we see that the chefs in the kitchen is played by the French band Phoenix,
yes,
who had
whose lead singer is married to Sofia Coppola.
yeah, so that's how they were able to get Phoenix.
Yes.
Yeah, and
They had an in, and they sing a song called "Alone on Christmas Day," which I really liked. It was originally written for the Beach Boys. I read.
oh really?
Yeah, it was supposed to be on like a 1977 Christmas album, but they never recorded it. Then the Beach Boys finally recorded it, and then Phoenix did this version like a month after the Beach Boys.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
So,
I didn't know that. But yeah, for those who don't know the band Phoenix, they had that huge hit back in like '09. The song's called 1901, and it's like one of those
mhm.
songs that once you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, I remember this song. It'll instantly take you back to the early aughts.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to check out more of the band Phoenix. I want to hear more of their stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
and we also have Mr. David Johansen, aka Buxter Poindexter, as the bartender.
Yes, yeah, he pops up in this. He's wearing a name tag that says Buster. I read
Of course he does.
as like a reference to his Buster Poindexter character. I actually knew him as Buster Poindexter before I ever knew him as David Johansen of the New York Dolls.
Yeah, I think most people our age was that. Like, I knew him as, oh, that's the dude that did Hot, Hot, Hot. And then,
Right.
like, once you go back and be like, oh, wait, no, he was actually in this band, New York Dolls, that performed at CBGB's all the time and that glam
Yeah.
rock kind of punk type of scene. And
Yeah, and I've since like gotten turned on to the New York Dolls. I've got like a greatest hits album of theirs, and I like their stuff a lot. So it's
it's good stuff.
it was cool. But yeah, I knew him first as Buster Poindexter, the hot, hot, hot guy. I
Yeah.
still remember when he was a musical guest on SNL when Sigourney Weaver hosted.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, Hot, Hot, Hot.
So,
Yeah. So we have him there. We had a ton of celebrity cameos, including the bride and groom, whose
mhm,
wedding got canceled because of the blizzard,
right,
played by Rashida Jones and Jason Schwartzman.
right. I mean, they're both. I think it's safe to say they're pretty tight with Bill Murray at this point. Jason Schwartzman's done a thousand Wes Anderson movies with Bill Murray,
Yeah,
and
Rushmore, Darjeeling Limited, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Moonrise Kingdom, Grand Budapest Hotel. Yeah, they know each other. Oh, and of course,
mhm, mhm.
Jason Schwartzman is related to Sofia Coppola. They're like cousins.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's safe to say that Bill Murray enjoys working with Rashida Jones. I think Rashida Jones was gone from Parks and Recreation by the time that Bill Murray did his cameo in the last season, but um, he did do a cameo on her show Angie Tribeca, and they of course did On the Rocks together. So and they have a cool chemistry together. I like seeing them together.
Yeah, they definitely have like a nice little kind of father daughter dynamic there that I really
Hmm.
dig.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot again. Like I think when you mentioned the feeling of melancholy that
yeah.
you like around the holidays, I think this scene, the second half of the special, really has it in spades. This is where it
Yeah.
gets like really amped up, because like at this point it's just kind of everybody who's trapped in the blizzard drinking and singing songs to each other, like almost like an Irish wake or something. Like at one point
Well, I
we
mean, it's kind of like that line in the song. They don't do this song in the special, but the "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," where it's a line, until then we'll have to muddle through somehow. That's kind of what this special is. It's them muddling through.
exactly, and also another cameo we get Miss Maya Rudolph as a lounge singer who like sings this fantastic song, "Baby Please Come Home," and Maya coming in reminding you that she's got pipes, as the kids say.
Yeah, she's. I mean, I like that song a lot. Maya Rudolph sings the hell out of it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it kind of reminds me because like I remember whenever she was on when she was on SNL, like she always did these great like impressions of Christina Aguilera, and like how
Hmm.
Christina just kind of goes off into those big belty songs or the big
Yeah, and she
belting
did
voice.
Beyonce on the show.
Yeah, and then you hear her sing, it's like, oh wow, she's really got pipes. And then I also know that she's a huge like Prince fan, and she has that cover band Princess that she does
Oh, I
quite
didn't
a
know
bit.
she had a cover band. That's cool.
Yeah, I
That's
think they
cool. And
perform
also,
once in a while.
like her mom. What was the name of her mom who did um, that song? Was it "Loving You"?
Yeah, Minnie Riperton.
Yeah, Minnie Riperton. She's Minnie Riperton's daughter, and she passed away, I think, when Maya was very very young. So,
Right. Yeah.
but I mean, she comes by those musical talents honestly.
Right. And Maya Rudolph has a few good lines here. Like she offers Jason Schwartzman a drink, saying, "Oh, you ever tried a soiled kimono?" Which I don't even know if that's a real drink name, or if it is, I want
It
to.
should be.
It should be. Damn straight.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's this very kind of feel to this second half where there's just kind of a bunch of people trapped in trying to make the best of a bad situation. Like at one point, Jason Schwartzman joins the band, or the chefs
Hmm.
on the drums. He's just playing drums while they perform, and then you're like, oh yeah, Jason Schwartzman. He played drums in a band a while ago,
Yeah.
and yeah, and then I think they earlier on in this scene they kind of introduced the fact that the bride and groom, Rashida Jones and Jason Schwartzman, had a fight, and so Bill Murray tries to connect them together, and then they end up singing "I Saw the Light," the Todd Rundgren song, together, and then everybody in the place starts singing "I Saw the Light." I was like, oh,
Which that's a really nice song. It's kind of a underheard Todd Rundgren song. It's on the same album as his big hit "Hello, It's Me." It's on his double album "Something Slash Anything" from 1972,
ooh,
and this really reminded me, man, I gotta listen to some more Todd Rundgren. He's an underrated dude.
criminally underrated. I mean,
Yeah.
"Hello, It's Me," "I Saw the Light." I mean, he's produced like a number of artists that are just pretty dope. Like I just saw him. I watched a Sparks documentary not too long ago, and
Uh
he
huh.
he was a big proponent of the band Sparks that like no one really heard of. I guess up until nowish. But I know
Yeah.
Edgar Wright has been a huge Sparks fan forever. But yeah, Todd Rundgren, he's one of those dudes that just kind of went under the radar. Had a few radio friendly hits, but he's been doing stuff. Don't sleep on Mister Rundgren,
Yeah, I was
people.
like, man, I gotta go to iTunes and like download some Todd Rundgren albums. I feel like I need to educate myself on him a bit more
Yes,
because I feel like I would really like his stuff.
you need to learn, man. Teach
Hmm.
yourself.
Hmm. And so, like the big kind of finale thing from the hotel sequences where they all sing "Fairy Tale of New York" together, and that's pretty much everybody. This is like right after it hits midnight, and they're like, "Hey, it's officially Christmas Day." So it's Bill Murray, Paul Schaefer, Jenny Lewis, Maya Rudolph, Jason Schwartzman, Rashida Jones, uh, Phoenix, David Johansen. Am I leaving out anybody? I don't know.
Huh, Partridge in a Pear Tree. I don't know. There's a lot
Yeah.
of the five golden rings.
Yeah. But I mean that's fun and that's a nice finale and it's a cool low key kind of Christmas special. And then at the end of that song, Bill Murray just sort of passes out because he's been drinking steadily throughout this,
Yes, as you do.
as you do.
Yeah, and then when he wakes up, he's in a dream sequence where he's on stage, white
Hmm.
piano, white set, Mr. Paul Schaefer there tickling the ivories, And this is where we get the big, variety show Christmas brouhaha that I was sort of expecting. And then we have Mr. George Clooney and Mrs. Miley Cyrus coming out and singing a few holiday tunes, like
they arrive on a sled, and then George Clooney hops off and he starts mixing martinis for everyone.
Yeah, he does. I start singing,
and it's George Clooney is in a tux, so he's looking very James Bondy, and he just starts mixing martinis for everyone. And Miley Cyrus is in a little sort of Santa dress, thing.
Yes, and then they start singing "Sleigh Ride." Miley starts singing. She has a version of "Silent Night" that was a last-minute addition, apparently, and so she has like a nice little solo thing. And then George Clooney and Bill Murray start singing "Santa Claus Wants Some Lovin'."
Yes.
Which, according to IMDb trivia, was initially going to be performed by the rapper Rick Ross.
Yes.
But
then when Ross becomes unavailable, they get George Clooney to fill in. And, I mean, I'm sure that happens all the time. Whenever Rick Ross can't make a commitment, he's like, well, have you tried George Clooney? And then George Clooney is like, yes, I will fly in from my villa in Italy, and I will step in for Rick Ross.
A lot of people don't know Rick Ross was going to be in Monuments Men, but he couldn't make it. So then George Clooney had to fill in.
Rick Ross was in the original pilot of ER.
That's right.
And for whatever reason, that didn't work out. So they said, hey, how about Clooney? Clooney was like, yeah, sure, I could do this.
Yeah. Rick Ross was going to be...
That's why the character was named Doug Ross. It was named after Rick Ross.
Wow. Mind blown.
How
about that?
He was going to do From Dusk Till Dawn with Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. Didn't end up happening. George Clooney steps in.
That's right. We almost had Rick Ross in From Dusk Till Dawn. We were that close to being like, hey man, what's up with all these vampires? I'm assuming that's what Rick Ross sounds like.
By the way, just quick reminder to both of us, someday we are going to have to do Bordello of Blood with Dennis Miller on this podcast.
Are we?
Again, I feel like we're going to run out of the good stuff at some point, so we have to at least periodically cover the bad stuff.
Oh boy, like I don't know if I got it in me for that.
Okay, come on. It's produced by the Tales of the Crypt people. It stars Dennis Miller, Erica Eleniak from Baywatch, and Corey Feldman, and what's her name? Angie Everhart.
Oh boy,
how are we not going to have things to talk about in this?
Oh, I mean, it sounds good on paper. I'll do that, but like I feel like when I actually watch it, I'll be like, I've made a huge mistake.
I am not saying it is a good movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I have seen it, and it will give us stuff to talk about.
All right, I think we found our holiday Halloween episode for 2022.
I will pencil that in for next Halloween.
Oh, gee whiz.
Bordello of Blood.
Ooh boy.
Okay, but back to the Christmas special.
Back to this.
Back to the. I mean, I thought it was a lot of fun to see George Clooney. I'm not a big Miley Cyrus fan. I just don't like her voice. I don't think she has a very good singing voice.
It's a nice voice, but like honestly, I mean, after hearing Billie Eilish sing a couple episodes ago, I was like, oh no, Billie Eilish has a better singing voice.
I think Bill Murray has a better singing voice. I liked his singing better than Miley Cyrus. Some like she's got like this nasal quality that just sets me on edge, man.
Wow, the Miley Hive is going to come right after you with that slander, sir.
Oh, okay.
You seem so unbothered.
I mean, if the Miley Hive wants to come after me, my block and mute buttons are ready when they are.
Just bring it, Miley Hive.
How could you say that? Mute. Block.
Well, maybe you haven't listened to the first album. Block.
You're right. I haven't. Block. I mean, that's how that's going to go. So
yeah, fair enough.
But Santa Claus Wants Some Lovin'. I thought that was a fun number. I like the lighting on that. They got dancers all around them.
Oh yeah, they got like solid
And
gold dancers.
were they the solid gold dancers, or
No, that just reminded me of the solid gold dancers.
I was thinking they were kind of Rockettes esque,
Oh, you
but
know what? You probably that's a better analogy. You're right.
because that seems more Christmassy, right?
Um, yeah, you know what? I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm not saying they are the Rockettes. They were just kind of in that style. Um,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah,
And yeah, so we get those songs from him, and it's very kind of Christmas type of variety show type of style. Of course, Bill Murray wakes up. It's Christmas Day. He's in his hotel
yeah,
room. He's with Paul and his assistant Dimitri, who kind of pops up
hmm
throughout the whole special. And yeah,
yeah.
they're just
I did not know the person playing Dimitri, but apparently the actor's name is Dimitri Dimitrov, which that's a cool name.
I like it. Double D's.
Hmm
Uh,
Double Dimitris.
Double Dimitri's, yeah. He says Merry Christmas and to Paul and Dimitri. Kind of looks out the window over the city. Says Merry Christmas, everyone. And then that's it.
Yeah,
It's very kind of mellow, melancholy type of special. Except
yeah.
for the third act where it's like the big variety show, over the top type of special.
But it's still like got this. Yeah, it's got this mellow kind of quality. It's a nice way to wind down from the holiday season, I think, because like so often going into Christmas, you're very amped up. You're getting all the presents for people, or you're hyped up because you're traveling somewhere, and there's all the stress involved with that. So this is a really nice way to just wind down and relax. It's just an hour. It's a quick watch, and it's fun.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I enjoy this. Like usually when you hear like a holiday special, it's like you said, you hear like just big kind of over the top brash song cues, and it's the most wonderful time, like
Right.
over the top type of singing performances and whatnot. But this one's very low key. The whole
Yeah.
special is like a low key Christmas. And
It never crossed the line into cheesy too, which I liked. It
right.
was just yeah, it just felt like it was like hanging out with Bill Murray and some cool people for an hour. Which I mean, how can you not like that?
I love that. I
Yeah.
love all of that. But
I mean, that's the dream. You want to just be hanging out with Bill Murray for an hour or so, or the better part of a day. I don't know at what time, at what point hanging out with Bill Murray gets old. Maybe it doesn't.
it
I don't know. I've never met the man. I'm open to meeting the man.
I never met him either, but I he did walk by me once when I was on the street and I was a PA for like this film we were shooting. I don't even remember what the film was, but like me and my
Mm.
buddies who were also PAs, we were kind of we were by the production trucks and we were helping out with stuff. And it was around Washington Square Park in the city, and it was like him and I guess his son and some other people just like walked by us. I guess we were walking to a restaurant, and like me and my friend John, who's also a huge Bill Murray nerd, like we saw him, we didn't say anything. We tensed up, and immediately as he like walked by and went around the corner, it was just me and him just trading Ghostbusters quotes for over like 10 minutes.
You and your friend.
Yeah, yeah, just like we got the tools. It's Miller time. Just it was literally that's all we could do is just talk in Ghostbusters quotes because like our brains just couldn't process and handle the fact that we had just seen the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Bill Murray.
That's cool. I once had a random encounter on the street with Janine Garofalo.
Oh, nice.
Um, where when I was walking in the city with a group of my friends, and Janine Garofalo like passed us by from the other direction, and I was literally the only person in my group who saw her.
Ooh.
And Janine Garofalo is like a short woman, but she's a very fast walker. So by the time she like passed by me and it registered in my head, I was like, "Holy shit, that was Janine Garofalo." She was already past us as a group, and I was literally the only one who saw her. So it was like, So I told my girlfriend at the time, I was like, "Oh, that was Janine Garofalo who just passed," and she was like, "What, really?"
Uh,
Because And maybe that's part of the reason that she's a fast walker, so she doesn't get hassled too much on the street.
That's true. I mean, she performs on stage quite a bit in the city, so I don't think she'd get
Mm-hmm.
hassled too much.
Well, I will say, like a few years ago, I went to a comedy thing in the city. Have I told this story on the podcast before?
I don't know. Tell it, and we'll see.
Okay, okay. Well, I was walking back from this. It was a thing that Frank Conniff was doing, where he does like a monthly riffing show, a movie riffing show. Um, and so I went into the city to do this, and it's like a lottery thing where they draw your name out of a hat, and then you riff on like a 5 minute segment of a movie, and then they choose a winner at the end, and then the winner riffs on a longer segment with Frank and a celebrity guest. This week, the celebrity guest was Janine Garofalo.
Ooh.
And then as I was leaving that thing, because of course I had to hop on a train to get back to Jersey, and travel for an hour or two. Um,
Okay.
I was walking back to my train, and Janine Garofalo was walking in the same direction. So we were like walking with each other, and I chatted with her for a few minutes. She was very nice, very friendly, very open. Yeah, so she was cool. She was very personable,
Oh,
and
far out.
yeah.
I'm trying to think if do I have. Oh, I do kind of have a Janine Garofalo story.
Mm,
So it's back. I've talked about on the podcast before how I used to write for my college newspaper, and
yes.
I worked in the entertainment section, so I would write up movie reviews, TV show reviews, music reviews, and stuff like that. And the thing about when you write for the college newspaper, like usually you'll get invited to like free stuff, like
Hmm.
screenings and interviews and stuff with the cast of the movie and stuff. So I got to see like a bunch of free screenings and followed up by like a interviews with a bunch of other people from other outlets. Uh,
Like roundtable interviews.
yes, very much so.
Yeah.
So it
Okay.
would be like the one of the stars, the director of the film, or both, and they would just walk into a room with a bunch of other folks from blog writers and college newspaper writers,
Hmm.
and then there'd be like a big old Q&A. And one time, this was like around the time the movie Clay Pigeons came out. I don't know if you remember that.
Okay, I remember that. Vince Vaughn's in that, right?
Vince Vaughn, Janine Garofalo, and a Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh,
And
okay.
I remember, yeah, I remember. Like I saw the movie. I think they might have given me a screener. I don't remember. But afterwards, they were saying, okay, we're gonna have this interview with the stars in this hotel room if you want to come out and interview them. And I was like, yeah, of course, because usually they give you free food and stuff. So college
Yep.
student, free food, I'm there.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so what they ended up
As a 49-year-old man, I'm like, free food? Yeah, I'm there.
pizza, I'm there. No toppings, I'm still there.
Free food. It's free food.
It's free food, man. Come on. But yeah, so like what ended up happening is they had the interview with the stars in this hotel, and what they ended up doing is they had like four different hotel rooms, like straight up hotel suites or rooms, and they
Oh, so
put
you're like going from room to room. So it was like a press junket.
yeah, exactly. But like
Gotcha.
they put a bunch of people in one room and bunch of people in another room, and the stars went from room to room. So for one moment,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so one minute I'm talking to Joaquin Phoenix, he's talking to us, and then another minute he leaves and Vince Vaughn comes in and talks to us, and you can tell that the night before was like the big rap party that they
Yeah.
had because all the stars kind of came in a little disheveled. I believe Joaquin was
And
wearing
hungover.
yes, I'll say that.
Okay.
Joaquin
Yeah.
was definitely wearing sunglasses. Uh, they were all drinking coffee. Janine lit up a cigarette. A few people smoked.
What time of day is this?
This it might have been like I feel like noon, noon,
Oh, okay. Okay.
maybe noon or 1 or something like
Well,
that.
that can be very early if you have a hangover.
Yes, I think even one of the interviewers asked Vince Vaughn about it. He was like, "Oh, it was a rough night last night," and Vince was like, "Yeah, last night, good. This morning, bad." But like I remember Janine Garofalo
That's
being
what
like,
I like about Vince Vaughn is there doesn't seem to be any pretense to that guy. He just seems to be like, yeah, this is what it is. This is me.
yeah, and I think like so when Janine Garofalo came in and we talked to her, I think somebody had the kind of solid, not solid, but the standard question of, hey, so what was it like working with Vince Vaughn? And then she lit up a cigarette and was like, hey, no one's asked me that one before. Vince Vaughn was So I was like, bravo, Janine Garofalo, bravo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a very Merry Christmas.
That's a very Merry Christmas. And those are our random encounters with Janine Garofalo. And Janine, if you are ever listening to this podcast, and why wouldn't you be? You are welcome to come on sometime. If you don't want to talk about your time on SNL, because I think that wasn't the greatest time in your life, yeah, we'll just talk about one of your movies or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's pretty much well known that her time on the show was let's say not the best.
And I mean, it's such a shame because under the right circumstances, she would have been great on that show. She would have killed it.
Yeah.
But she came on at the wrong time,
Yeah, I think when
and she didn't mesh with the people who were there.
yeah, I think when she came on it was like infamously like a boys club. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean I've kind of gone back and watched a few of the episodes in her tenure, and yeah, it was very kind of broy, misogynistic type of sketches.
Well, it was the tail end of that. Chris Farley, David Spade, Rob Schneider. I think Sandler was still on at that point. It was the tail end of that era. So she was on like mid-90s. So they weren't really writing for her type of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just didn't work. In the Live from New York oral history book, they have some very interesting things to say about that era.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I remember those shows not being the best, and there was like also kind of like a I don't know, like there was a very dour vibe to those shows
yeah,
where you can see the energy really isn't there anymore. It's not popping like it used to. It seemed very
yeah.
dark and gloomy. Like those are the
It
years.
was one of those eras where you were getting all the Saturday Night Dead headlines.
Yeah, I think.
And that's just part of the cycle that the show goes through. It gets really bad, and then it kind of rebirths itself. And like the year after that, that was when they brought in Will Ferrell and Molly Shannon and Sherry O'Terry and all those people. And that was the last time like Lauren really remade the show in a major way.
Yeah, I remember hearing like that was the closest the show got to being canceled, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like
Yeah.
if you go back and watch those shows, you're like, oh, this show's on life support. It needs new blood
Yeah. Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah. It was not good.
No hay bueno.
Yeah.
And that's our episode, guys. Thanks again so much for listening. Thanks so much for supporting this little podcast of ours throughout
Mm-hmm.
2021 and 2020 and 99 and however long we've been doing this podcast. It seems like it's been a minute. But
We've been doing
if
this
you listen to
podcast
this,
since 1999. Yes.
I knew it. Yes, that sounds about right. Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, guys, thanks so much for supporting us. It's been a labor of love, and we really do appreciate all the reviews you leave and retweets and follows and likes and telling your
Yeah.
friends and sharing it with us and the feedback, all the beautiful feedback. We love it all. Thank you so much. And we also really
Yeah.
love uh, we also really love our Patreons, our amazing Patreon patriots
Mm-hmm.
or followers who donate to us and show us the love by giving us the monies.
Yeah, and we've got a list of our Patreons. We want to read those names as like a special thank you, and thank you for all you do and helping support the show. I got the list right here. You want me to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Thank you to Amanda Mills, Scott Hume, Sarah Fish, Steve J. Rogers, not to be
Ooh,
confused with Captain America. Captain America's Steve Grant Rogers, although not in the comics because he doesn't have the middle name of Grant in the comics. But in the MCU
wow.
version, it's Stephen Grant Rogers.
The
Just so
fact
you
that
know.
you know his middle name is very impressive. I just want to say that right now.
Thank you very much. This is what I do. Next we have Bill Mutarance. I apologize if I'm mangling that name. Wendy Mays, Russell, who does not provide a last name. It's a man of
He's one name.
mystery, Russell.
Yeah, he's like Cher, just
Um,
one name.
it's just one name.
Like
He's like Zendaya.
yes, absolutely.
Next we have Manny V, who just an initial, so somewhat less of a man of mystery than
It
Russell.
could be Man. If he's Roman, it could be Manny Five. If you think about it.
That's true. That's true. Maybe he's a clone. We don't know.
Mm.
Manny V, write in. Let us know your deal.
Are you a variant? Or not.
Michelle Gardner, Brennan Taylor, Amanda Panda Hoffman. Now that's a cool middle name, Amanda Panda.
Oof, it's good.
Valerie Chupella, James Carolyn, and John Pope. So thank you to one and all for supporting the show. And if you want to become a Patreon, you can do so at non-productive.com. And just click on the Patreon button and then indicate that you're supporting the SNL Nerds, and you can get some cool bonus content for us.
Absolutely.
From us.
Yes, absolutely. And as always, you can follow us on Twitter at SNL Nerds Show. Tweet at us, follow us, spread the word. Tell us what you think about us.
Yeah, we got a few new followers this week. We were tweeting a lot in the lead up to the Paul Rudd episode, and that netted us some new followers on the SNL Nerds Twitter account. That's at SNL Nerds Show. So thank you very much to all the new followers, and we hope you're enjoying the podcast.
Absolutely. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Darren Credible. That's DARIN Credible.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Trumbull Comic. That's TRUMBULL, and then the word comic.
Absolutely. So. And I guess that's it, man. Wow.
That's it for 2021. We polished off another year of this thing.
Did it! Yay!
Woo!
One down, many more years to go until we all die from global warming.
Okay, we're ending dark.
Merry Christmas to you.
I mean, that's not true. There are still COVID variants out there. We could die from that.
There's a myriad of ways we can meet our maker.
So we'll see. We'll see where that happens. Keep tuning in. See how we die.
Exactly.
Or will we just get gradually depressed because we're covering movies that we don't particularly like, like Bordello of Blood?
Exactly. The surprises never end here on the SNL Nerds podcast.
So, we're going to be back next week on January 2nd. We're not entirely certain what we're going to be covering yet. We got a couple possibilities, and we don't want to say until we know for sure, because we never want to lie to you, our faithful listeners.
That's right. We always want to be truthful. This is a relationship we take seriously with you, the listeners.
This is a relationship of trust.
That's right. You're in the trust tree with us, in the nest.
We're going to do trust falls right after this.
Absolutely. Through the internet, so I'll probably just crash on my computer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy, I don't know, anything you celebrate, Festivus. And Happy New Year's, guys. Next year's got to be better, right? It's going to be great. Next year's our year. Woo! Fingers crossed. I mean, maybe 2022 will be the year we all figure it out. Who knows? Anything's possible. That's the nice thing about a New Year's. It's just filled with possibilities. Absolutely. And hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully it's Yeah. Fingers crossed. Just take care of us, universe. Yes. Command me, Lord. All right, so. But until then, nerds out!
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer, Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.